The Trade is brought to you by Vantage Markets, delivering one of Australia's most trusted and award-winning trading experiences. Explore smart trading at vantagemarkets.com.au.
Hi there, welcome to The Trade. Let's get you across what traders are watching this morning. Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell asking the U.S. Central Bank's Inspector General to review the costs involved in the renovation of its historic headquarters in Washington as Trump administration officials intensify their criticism of how the Fed is being run. Meanwhile, Japanese Prime Minister is arranging to meet U.S. Treasury Secretary in Tokyo this week ahead of an August 1st deadline to strike a trade deal with the U.S. And the U.S. Commerce Department says it will impose duties of 17% on fresh tomatoes from Mexico, tomatoes, I should say. And U.S. President Trump has announced new weapons for Ukraine and threatened sanctions on buyers of Russian exports unless Russia agrees to a peace deal, a major policy shift that's been brought on by frustration with Moscow's ongoing attacks on Ukraine. And oil prices edged down as the market digested U.S. President Trump's 50-day deadline for Russia to end the Ukraine war to avoid sanctions on buyers of its oil. Let's get across the technicals now. Peter McGuire from trading.com joins me now. Peter, welcome. Nice to see you. I would like to talk silver because silver is absolutely rocketing. Tell us about it.
Well, good morning, Nadine. Yes, it has been. It's been the outstanding trade. It made its big brother even sit on the sidelines. That's gold. This year, it's been absolutely outstanding. It punched through $39. We haven't seen that high since about 2011. And I think the next point we've got to be focused on as far as, 40 to 1 to 41.5. I want to take you through some key uses of silver. 20 grams of silver is used in 2 square meters of solar panels or photovoltaic cells. And as we know, electric vehicles, they use a large component of silver for their manufacturing. Every electrical connection activated by silver-coated contacts. We use it in medical devices, water purification, almost everywhere. And every switch that you turn on and off, it has silver in it, Nadine. So the overall momentum, I think, is going to be upward from here. And I think that's the chart to look at and very much a part of, the big picture as far as a raging bull market.
Yeah, those are some pretty big candles there at the end, Peter. So silver, yes, rocketing, gold. I mean, it's not responding, I guess, as enthusiastically to some of those tariff headlines.
No, but when we put our mind back probably 20 months or so, it was at 1,800. What you've seen now at 33.5. $3,360 sort of dollars. It's probably a little bit tired, and we get those points in the market. I mean, there's only so much capital, and people see other markets as potential, US equities for the sake, and what we saw in silver, plenty of other markets that have had good upticks over the last couple of months. I think gold's best days are going to be in the second half and certainly Q4. We're still positioning where we are as far as Fed rate policy, what goes on with inflation, and the storyline with US dollar. So I think it's having a little bit of a breather, Nadine, but its best days are ahead of it.
Well, could the same be said for Bitcoin, because it has just absolutely been flying as well? What is the next target? What are the technicals telling us, Peter?
Well, you've got that punch through 120, and it was very convincing. You're up that, I think it hit a high of 123, 125. It's probably got the potential to probably take a 130 handle out, 140 very, very quickly, Nadine. And that overall momentum is very strong. What we've seen in the last couple of weeks, when we're around that 100,000, it's been, big push up. And I think the tariff situation, what goes on as far as EU and Mexico, all of these components, and also in the focus, Crypto Week, which began yesterday, see lawmakers in the US Congress debate and possibly vote on 3 pro-crypto bills. So all of that moving forward, that's, it's a very, very strong market to be in.
It certainly is. So that's all the positives. Those are the positives. Yeah. I mean, when we think about other technicals, I don't think we can escape the US dollar, which actually has been performing a bit better just as of late.
Yeah, it has. It's certainly bounced, and I think everyone's consideration at the moment is what's happening later today in the US as far as CPI numbers, Nadine. It's bounced. You're running at the moment about that night, just over 98 for that US dollar index. The figures, I think that's shaping as far as Fed policy. What do we see, as far as rate outlook in the second half? And this is all going to be determined from that CPI number. We're looking at economists expect headline at around about 0.3% month on month and 2.7% year on year. And core CPI, which does exclude food and energy, forecast at about 3% annually. So how's that going to sway from a positive or a negative to Fed Chair Powell? Do we see cooler than expected numbers, and they may reinforce market expectations of monetary easing later in the year, Nadine? So consumer sentiment, looking at unemployment and overall health of the US economy. And again, I've got to say, you can't get in the way of a bull market, which is the raging equity markets in the States.
Yeah, Nasdaq hitting that record high through the overnight period. We're in positive territory today. We do have a big heap of China data due. Do you reckon that could either make or break this market today?
Well, it'll sway. I mean, when it gets dropped, then, the sway on the market, naturally Asia will take a very close eye on it. It'll do what it has to do. And that's, once it's released to the market, traders will make up their own decisions. But I think the overall momentum is going to be continued uplift. And we've got to be conscious, as far as I think Trump's policy, that needs to be worked through from a tariff situation, Nadine. And I think it's a little bit too early to call. I want to see, maybe in another month or two, the impact as far as tariffs to China, how it's being internalized, and what's going to be the process moving forward from the CSI 300 and the other associated markets.
Got it. Peter McGuire, trading.com. Thanks for getting us across the trade.
Thank you, Nadine.
Take care. So silver, that's a story that is one worth watching. Let's just take a short break. That's the trade for today. We'll get some macro analysis next.
The Trade was brought to you by Vantage Markets, delivering one of Australia's most trusted and award-winning trading experiences. Explore smart trading at vantagemarkets.com.au.